Hi, I'm April Rose, your Witchy Wisdom 1 host for Saturday. This week's topic has been about the tools that we use most often in our practice. For me, one tool that I would ideally be using a lot would be candles, but at this point in time, I live with my parents, and they have asked me not to use candles, so I don't, out of respect for them. For practicality, because I do need a dim light source that doesn't need an electrical cord, I got some little electric tea light candles and put a cardboard tube around it, put hot glue on it to make it look like drippy wax, and then painted it. Really simple, doesn't take long. It's not as nice as real candles. I mean, obviously there's no real fire, but it'll do in a pinch. And it does provide the right kind of, not necessarily the right kind of lighting, because I think it flickers weirdly, but the right amount of light that a candle would give. Aside from that, I have my altar for when I'm doing indoor rituals, which is mostly what I do since I live in the city, and so I go outside, there's lots of distractions and lots of people around and prying eyes, and I just feel weird doing magic or ritual in any kind of even semi-public setting. I'm very solitary in my practice. So I have my setup scrying mirror, which is pretty new. I haven't used it much yet, but I'm looking forward to that, hopefully when I get vacation from school and actually have some time to, devote a good chunk to practicing witchcraft again. General altar setup, I get a lot of use out of that. When I'm doing ritual outside, I have a backyard, so there is some amount of privacy. I have some eggshell chalk that I made. I usually draw a circle and whatever sigils I'm planning on using on the ground. There's like a kind of, not cement, but like pavement, like kind of in the middle of the backyard that I can draw on. Let's see. I use makeup and perfume in ritual. I'm very sensory and very visual oriented. For scents, I have some rose oil that I keep in this pretty glass bottle that used to be my grandmother's. I have what's called like an oriental blend of oils. I don't remember offhand what's in it. It doesn't say on the bottle. I did look it up online, but it smells really good. And then I bought this at my local Pagan Pride festival, and it's orange spice scented. And this is probably one of my favorites, and it was really cheap, which was amazing. It's a small bottle, but I don't use a whole lot at a time, so it lasts a long time. For makeup and ritual, this is actually running like pretty much empty. I need to reorder some, but it's just basically black body paint. It's semi-permanent. It doesn't come off right away. It'll come off almost entirely with rubbing alcohol and like good scrub with soap and water. But I like using this. It's non-toxic, obviously. I order it from Mehendi.com, which is also where I get my henna to dye my hair. It's a pretty good company. I like ordering from them. Very pale foundation. It's kind of translucent, so it's not too harsh white. It kind of blends in with the skin tone really well, which I get from, it's called Phantom Complexion Powder. It's based on a formula from 1897. and it is from Portland Black Lipstick Company, which is another excellent place that I usually order from. I also have some of their lipsticks, both the little sample slices, one of Pewter and one of Bug's Blood, which is like a kind of a neo-Victorian red color. Yes, it does use real crushed bugs in it. To get that red color, it's a traditional pigment. And then I have their black lipstick, which I haven't used a whole lot yet. Mostly I got it for Halloween, but I'll probably end up using it in Ritual as well. Eyeshadows, usually just in a dark palette. I've got a dark purple, and then I also have like a grayscale kind of palette. Eyeliner. Just bought new eyeliner. This is the best one I have gotten so far. I used to use like the kohl pencil, but I hate resharpening them. They always break, and then I end up wasting a ton of it because it keeps breaking, and then I get very angry. So this time I splurged, paid a little extra money, and got, what's it? It's like a self-sharpening. It comes in a plastic tube. You kind of twist it, and it moves up a little bit, and I guess there's some kind of mechanism inside that sharpens it as you twist it, and it goes up. But it's great. It has a blender on the back. Let's see if I can show you there. Yeah. So I really like this, and I'll probably continue using this in the future. This one's made by CoverGirl. It was just the one that cost the least, even though it wasn't as little as I would have liked. That's pretty much what I use. For my altar setup, I have a section for earth, a section for water, which I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that, and a section for air. Yes, you can kind of see feathers in a bottle there. I have the duality for death and life, which is, let's see if I can get in there. Yes, a black cat vase with fake flowers inside. I do keep dried flowers. The reason I don't use the natural dried feathers instead, dried flowers, instead and use fake flowers is that technically the dried flowers are dead, and using dead flowers for life doesn't make much sense to me. So I just use something that looks lively, even though it's technically never been alive. I have this I haven't used as much recently, but I have a large board that I made for tarot card spreads, which works really well. I just find that easier than trying to find a surface, and you know, sometimes since I usually do them in my room, I don't have a nice desk. So that's pretty much all I use. I don't really use a wand. I do have one. I keep it at the center of my altar. It's just a piece of wood I found that I thought was an interesting shape. I really liked the shape. Wrapped the handle with some leather cord and wrapped some copper wire in various places. Attached a bit of grapevine to the tip, kind of winds around. It is a nice wand. I like it when I do use it, but for the most part, I just don't use wands. They just never really feel necessary to me. It feels kind of awkward and unwieldy and not something that I generally like to use. A lot of the times especially if I'm doing something quick. It's not something that's not a full ritual. I won't even use any tools, or it'll just be something really simple like a bit of colored string, which I have a collection of up on that very top shelf in those little tiny baskets, lots of different colors of thread. I spin wool into yarn. I've used that a lot. I'd like to get into dyeing it myself, which I haven't tried yet, but probably do that next summer. So I have a lot of things. I don't spend a lot of money on them, and I don't always use them, which is good that I don't spend much money on them then. So I hope that maybe this was helpful or inspirational, or, you know, take whatever you can from it. I find that it's a lot of fun, and I hope that of those of you that are practicing witchcraft yourselves, that you have a lot of fun practicing your craft as well.